One of the crazier things that's happened so far in college football this past week, and really this past day, Minnesota football players announced Thursday night that they are boycotting their bowl game. In the wake of suspensions this week, 10 teammates, I can't speak. The school did not specify the reasons for the suspension in Tuesday's announcement, but Ray Buford, Sr., the father of defensive back Ray Buford Jr., one of the suspended players, said Wednesday the suspensions resulted from a Title IX investigation, which that's been going around, conducted by the university into an alleged sexual assault, which was separate from a police investigation into the alleged assault in the early hours of September 2nd. Now, the players had a player meeting only, then told the coaches, this is what we're going to do. They said, quote, the boycott will remain effective until due process is followed and suspensions for all 10 players have been lifted. Here's the thing. The coaches apparently are behind them. The athletic director's behind them. But this throws, if you're standing for a cause, what really happened, there's so much more information that we all have to gather here. My first reaction is, these guys are just going to boycott a bowl game like they run the show, like they can just say, we're not going to do this. It's so upset. Well, what's happening here? Why is it, team violations? What's the deal here? When I first saw Title IX investigation, I'm thinking, they're really defending teammates through this? Now, again, we've just got somewhat through with Baylor, seeing how some of those players are. But we've also seen where sometimes there are some women who have made up lies about being raped by athletes and football players to get money, to get whatever. So maybe that's why they're fighting for their players, saying, hey, these guys really didn't do anything. They're caught up in something. Because I really can't see these players really saying, we're going to boycott a game because 10 of our players are suspended for actually maybe, potentially for a sexual assault. If you're standing up for that, then there's some issues bigger with this program, that there has to be some bigger investigations going on here. So it's really weird to see this. But with the coaches and the athletic director of Minnesota supporting the players in this boycott, do you think there's something more going on? Now, if Minnesota does follow through with the boycott, lots of things are going to happen here. Now, the bowl game is the National Funding Holiday Bowl, right? Northern Illinois would be the replacement team. There's no votes up to this. This is based on the Huskies' APR, the Academic Progress Rate. And their ranking is the highest out of the 5 and 7 teams that are left for a bowl game. So they would get in. But the NCAA's Football Oversight Committee would have to approve this in the first place for them replacing Minnesota if the Gophers decide not to play. Now the bowl game is against Washington State on December 27th. Time is somewhat ticking here. Washington State's preparing for Minnesota, and now they're like, okay, what's happening here? Minnesota's not preparing for anybody right now. And NIU is like, well, we just, we kind of, our kids have graduated last week. Some of them are gone home, different states. They're gone. And now we got to get them back on the campus and say, hey, we got a game to prepare for if you guys want to play. Now, the Huskies said, quote, they would likely play, end quote, in the game, but a decision could be reached within the next 48 hours. So we can hear something probably with my luck right after the show ends and after this video is uploaded. We will find out if Minnesota ends up following through with a boycott, and if so, if the Huskies get in. So that's just how it goes sometimes. Now, there's other issues with this. Other challenge would be having enough practices, fair practices, and preparation time for NIU to prepare for Washington State. Now, sources said moving the Holiday Bowl is out of the question. They're not moving it a couple days back to allow practices and things like that because Washington State's already made travel plans. Fans have made travel plans. The local accommodation, television commercials and commitments, and all these other things have already been factored in, and they're not moving. So either we could potentially have Minnesota follow through and play Washington State on December 7th, or 27th, excuse me, or NIU takes over, and we can have that, or we might not even have this bowl game. I think that's the last thing that would happen. I think something would happen where, okay, if NIU can't do it, maybe they move up to a next school and try to do it. Someone would end up taking their spot, I would think. I don't see the bowl game completely getting canceled. Washington State would be furious with that, and you've got, again, a lot of money goes into these bowl games, so I highly doubt we're going to see a canceled bowl game, but this is a lot that's happening in a very quick time. It's December 16th right now. It's going to be something interesting to watch. Hopefully this all gets resolved. Minnesota still plays. We still got to figure out what's happening here with the suspensions and why they're being suspended.